896-5555, Jacksonville. Let's go into the night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
The game hangs on the balance of this play. Stroud, the carry. No, wait a minute. He gives it to Joe Mixon. He is stonewalled. Mason Graham, ladies and gentlemen. The rookie out of Michigan. With the game-changing play. 76,000. Listen. And that's when you come in, right here in Duval. 76,000 plus. That's what I'm going with over at the bank. Mason Graham, just taking guys and firing them to his left, firing them to his right. Kind of like the guy from Fast Times at Ridgemont High, right? Joe Mixon, all you need is a yard. Hell no. A defensive tackle who moves bodies. A defensive tackle who becomes a mountain. A defensive tackle that is so good at his craft that he makes players next to him that much better. All of a sudden, the pass rush begins to increase once again for Josh Hines-Allen. Same said for Trayvon Walker. It's a rekindled effort and maybe a second opportunity at this dream for Eric Armstead. Others are saying, hey, what about me? What about my opportunity to go on out and do something? Whether it's Devin Lloyd, dare I say. Maybe it's Mason Smith, who doesn't miss, 6 games as a second-round draft pick where he is inactive. Okay, 3 of those we know he was injured. The other 3 just healthy. Ventrell Miller, maybe from the other side. Foye Oluokun. This is a defense that was absolutely awful a year ago. There's no getting around it, okay? Jacksonville was 32nd last year in ESPN's pass rush win rate metric, and they were 27th against the run. They were absolutely pathetic. They allowed 5.9 yards a play. I mean, do the math. I know I talked about this. It was either last night or Monday night, but I mean, do the math. If you're allowing 5.9 a play, it's 1st and 10, it's 2nd and 4, it's first down. That's the way that math works out, and it has to be changed. Tonight is about you, Duval. It is about the great listeners, and we're just so proud around here. Almost tickled. Almost, I don't want to say tickled to death, but just tickled that we have this type of interaction on into the night, because this is where we are as a program. This is where we are as a show. I listen to you, okay? I don't always agree with you, and I don't on this case, but I listen to you. And Dylan and I respond. We're incredibly interactive on our text line, 641-1010, brought to you by Lifetime Experience. I still don't have the technology to know how to respond to you on YouTube, but I feel like a new breath of fresh air is coming from those individuals. And as always, a thank you there. Twitter, Facebook, other social media outlets are growing and growing and growing. And, of course, you get us here on the 50,000-watt beast, which is 92.5 FM. You know my opinion. My opinion is not going to be swayed. But I'm coming after you tonight with the understanding that I have an open mind, all right? You have been telling me forever, defense, defensive tackle, a corner, a safety, an edge. Let's face it, this football team needs help in every positional group. I think the best group they have right now is probably edge. But again, they were absolutely awful. They were 32nd in pass rush win rate last year, according to ESPN. right? They were 28th in the NFL in sacks. You have two really good players. That's it. Outside of that, you have nothing else that you're getting from the edge, and you got just no production from the interior defensive lineman. I have to believe that is your number one thought on this. And we still don't know. Is Jacksonville going to run a 4-3? Are they going to run a 3-4? How are they going to put things into fruition when it's all said and done? You look at this kid, Graham, 34 pressures last year, 3.5 sacks. Okay, he was Pro Football Focus's highest graded interior defender in college football, and he ranks second in the run stop rate overall. So he is very good against the run, right? And that's a big part of it for defensive tackles. But the other part is, can you swallow a guy? Can you swallow a second guy? Can you get some push? Look at, and I'm not going to all of a sudden compare him to Vita Vea. I'm not going to sit here and compare him to Aaron Donald, but you look at elite interior defensive linemen. I think back in the days of Warren Sapp, right? I mean, remember what it was like around here when you had Mark Stroud, when you had John Henderson, when you were getting solid push with the interior? You know, even going back 5-6 years ago when you moved Calais inside. And you had Marcel Darius, where you had, Unique on one side and, Hans Allen is a rookie on the other. Calais, it changes everything. So tonight, I figured I would do things a little bit differently. In our second hour, we're going to have guests. John Oehser will join us live from Indianapolis. We're going to check some money tonight, whether you're ready or not. The Southern Swing begins tomorrow. How about that? Palm Beach Gardens. The Cognizant Classic in the Palm Beaches. Enjoyed the West Coast Swing. Feel like I didn't really talk about much PGA Tour at all. Why? Because the Jaguars were late with what they were trying to do, but they've been so incredibly busy throughout the latter part of January and certainly the entire month of February. I think it's been cool. It's been very convenient for us. It's been thrown right in our lap, which is always nice. I don't want it year after year after year. I'd like some consistency, some continuity with this football team and with this coaching staff. But I just feel like I've kind of neglected what becomes my favorite sport outside of hockey this time of year. I'll add baseball in a month once that gets underway in early April. But, I love talking about the PGA Tour. The Southern Swing is here. They'll get underway tomorrow. Then they'll move down to Arnold's Place. And then before you know it, we're, 11 days away from the Players' Championship week? It's frightening if you, in fact, do think about it. But whenever we have talked about what is going on with the Jaguars, and I'll say what I think is cool in a way. Another way, there's a little bit of really, but there's some boldness in this fan base, which I admire. Okay, I listen. I'm a big fan of a man's man, right? I could say that comfortably. I don't want to define different men from you, but I kind of like the man who begins the day with a black coffee and ends it with 3 fingers worth of Irish whiskey. I mean, that's a man's man, right? I mean, not one of these, give me a souffle or, you show up with a velour sweat. Anyway, I'm getting this boldness. I'm getting this description from these fans in Duval where you become a fan base that is a man's man fan base. And you've said such things to me over the last couple of months, such as, we don't want Bill Belichick. Okay, the guy won 6 Super. No, we don't want Bill Belichick. I'm sorry, I have to laugh, okay? Yesterday, we don't want Tyler Hunter? I'm just like, whoa. And again, I know this isn't everyone, but you're out there. And I'm just sitting there saying to myself, this is a losingest franchise in the last 10 years in the NFL, and you're telling me you don't want Belichick and you don't want Tyler. I mean, what gives here?
Travis Hunter,
excuse me. But something you do want is Mason Graham. You want this 6'3", 320-pound guy who did say that he has already spoken to the Jacksonville Jaguars. He has already had a meeting with him. I think his teammate, Kenneth Grant, is going to meet with Jacksonville as well if he hasn't already. He would be a candidate for the Jaguars with the 36th pick. But you have told me forever, this is the guy that you want. This is the guy that you want to be a part of this football team. Tonight is for you. Tonight, I want to get it from you. Why? And is it anything outside of the fact that you see him listed there in mock drafts? You have been told he is the right pick? Or have you done a little bit of work on this? Have you gone deep into it? Have you watched Michigan play football? Do you know what his style was at Michigan? I look at the very reputable Our Lads who told us it was a 3-4 defense at Michigan, where I've been watching 4-3 defenses. I remember it going back to a few years ago where you had Aiden Hutchinson coming off the edge. We get caught up in name recognition, okay? Not like we did years ago in college football recruiting before the internet took over. Everything was based on ranking. Everything was based on prospects. And you as college football fans became such a huge proponent of a player that you never saw play. You trusted Tom Lemming. You trusted the late Bill Buckhalter. You trusted Max Emfinger. You trusted Tom Barrows. You trusted players. And back then, recruiting was so much fun because the internet wasn't around. And I bring these guys on, and they tell you about the 5. And again, as fans, you were locked in. That first Wednesday in February was historic. The recruiting game nowadays is nothing like it once was. I feel better for the kids. They get their 15 minutes of fame. All of the highlights are viral for you to go out there and take a look at. And with the early signing, okay, it's a big day in December. February's not nearly what it once was. But in my mind, recruiting is nowhere near where it used to be for the reasons that I just gave you. The flip side is the draft. Outside of the Super Bowl, the NFL draft has become probably the biggest entity of all of this. It is a monster. I actually missed the Saturday, Sunday. I missed 3 rounds on Saturday, 4 rounds on Sunday. Well, forever now, we've had it on a Thursday night and then a Friday night. And then, of course, it continues on Saturday. But there's easier ways and far more technology for you to really study a player. There are numerous mock drafts, most of which you can go to that same site and get a player profile, video highlights. But I'm interested tonight. You people who are pounding the table for Mason Graham, and you may be spot on. We may revisit this in a year or 2 or 3 and say, boy, Ballou, you were so stupid. And here you are, Ballou, telling us night after night after night, get a wide receiver, get a guard. You wanted to pass up on Mason Graham, and look at Mason Graham. He's the best defensive tackle right now in the NFL. Could happen. Absolutely could happen, right? I'm just trying to figure out why. Why are you so intrigued? Is this follow the leader? Someone says it, so I'm in? Or have you really studied it? Have you really watched him play? Have you really done your work? And by the way, as fans, you don't have to. You're not responsible for any of that. I think the relationship that we have and the fact that in a situation like this, I'm going to open it up to you. And I'm going to share the comments with our listeners as to why you want him. I'm just really intrigued what makes him so special. It's not unanimous, but it's really close. Whenever the draft comes up, I get Mason Graham, Mason Graham, Mason Graham, Mason Graham. So we're going to talk about that tonight. And, again, he has met with the Jaguars. I have a quote here from Jaguars Wire. I've met with the Jaguars, great organization. Obviously, a new staff, a new GM, good meeting with those guys. Lynn Zerling, who does a nice job as a draftnik with NFL.com, goes on to state that Mason Graham is a 3 technique who provides activity, effort, strength, and quickness. His first step quickness makes interior disruption inevitable. He has the instant read and response to regularly beat lateral blocks. Stout at the point of attack, great leverage, body control, but will lose some ground against double teams. All right, who's not going to lose ground against double teams, right? Outside of Vita Vea. The reports are promising. They are. And you know, well, he's listed at 6'3", 320. We'll see what he weighs in at, actually. We'll check his arm length. We'll see what he does on the bench press. We'll see what he does testing as far as the 3-cone drill, as far as the short shuttle. I don't think a 40 time is especially that important for a defensive lineman. It's just my opinion. I think the first 10 yards are more important, right? It's not too often we see a defensive tackle running 40 yards worth on any given play in pro football. But he's the guy that you have identified. And tonight, we are going to spend our first hour primarily talking about that. All right, the report card is in, and it's not good. We're also going to spend our first hour on that, depending on how receptive you are to everything that I just said. Let me take a quick peek here at the text line, 641-1010. I love it. Starting to fill up. Starting to fill up on Mason Graham. Again, keep it going. 641-1010. Text line brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. You can also get us on YouTube at 1010XL. So we'll come back. We'll begin with that. We'll get to the report card, which is not good. It's crystal clear. This football team had really become tiresome of Doug Peterson. And the grades are awful. I mean, they are absolutely pathetic. Overall, Jacksonville went from 5th overall with the NFLPA and their report card on the Jaguars. If you look at every single category, they fell to number 18 this past year. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'll explain that to you a little bit as we do move forward throughout the program. All right, I will tell you that tonight's show is brought to you by the good folks over at Shmunez Vision. An ophthalmologist, Dr. John Hunt, newest member of their practice. And, you know, this is really, how do I want to say this? Today I had a visit. I had a doctor visit, just a health scenario. And you check in, you wait, and 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 you wait. And I know that that is something that all of you out there have experienced. It's really awful. It's almost at the point where I feel like I'm going to turn around and charge them for wasting my time. And frankly, that's a pretty good idea. I think some of you folks out there may try that. That's something you never have to worry about at Shmunez Vision. If you have a 1 o'clock scheduled appointment, you're going to be seen at 1 o'clock. All right? Overbooking. Make more money, right? You're just a number, right? Let's get them in, get them out. Almost like a car wash. It happens in so many different categories. It becomes, honestly, a racket. And I know in my case, health-wise, I get pushed from doctor to doctor to doctor to doctor. I end up with a colonoscopy and some new medication, and they still don't know what the hell happened. When it comes to your eyes, that doesn't have to be the case, right? Go to someone who's going to have the care for you, who's going to sit down and talk to you. If surgery is needed, they're not going to pedal you down the doorway and go speak to a surgery counselor. Hell no. They're going to answer every single one of your questions. Dr. Neil Shmunez, Dr. Catherine Shmunez, Dr. John Hunt, the great folks at Shmunez Vision. Check them out online. You can also go to Instagram and get all of the testimonials at Shmunez Vision as well. All right, when we come back, let's check in with Dylan Denmark. Let's check in with you. This hour is completely devoted to Mason Graham. Mason Graham fans, tell me why he needs to be the Jaguars pick at number 5. The best way to do it, our text line, 641-1010, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures.
Our coordinates here are,
10, 10, XL. Now, the Florida Gator Report on 1010XL, brought to you by San Jose Collision.
The Gators suffered only their 4th loss of the season in Athens last night as they fell just short to Georgia 88-83. The Gators scored 48 points in the second half and were still down 26 with 12 minutes remaining, but ultimately did not complete the comeback, despite a 30-point night from Will Richard. A humbling loss, the Gators will get back up and fight with 3 regular season games remaining.
This is Mike Lynch, PGA Golf Professional. Take it from me. If you're dealing with an orthopedic issue, talk to the doctors at Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, where you're treated like a pro.
This is Dr. Kevin Murphy with Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, where athletes are treated like pros. Thanks to all of you who have allowed us to be part of your recovery. Call us at Southeast Orthopedic Specialists if you ever have a need.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Don't miss the Players' Championship, March 11th through 16th at TPC Sawgrass. This can't-miss event features a variety of activities for every fan to enjoy, from delicious bites to the Sawgrass Splash. There are endless fan enhancements that will make for a memorable experience. Plus, watch the top PGA Tour players, including back-to-back champion Scotty Scheffler, take on the iconic stadium course featuring the famous Island Green. Tickets available at theplayers.com.
Best Bet is number 1. That's right, Best Bet Jacksonville, Orange Park, and St. Augustine have one-card poker, the fastest and easiest card game to learn and play. Play one card at a time, and the highest card wins even money. If the card values are the same, it's time for war, just like the game you remember. You must be 18 years or older to play. Learn all the games at bestbetjacks.com. That's bestbetjacks.com.
Hi, it's Ben, second generation from Beard's Diamonds. Guys, if you're popping a question soon, looking for an anniversary gift, before you buy anywhere, shop Beard's. From a half carat to 10 carats, Beard's will beat any competitor's price.
In the St. John's Town Center or at beardsdiamonds.com.
She's very comfortable talking sports and hanging out with the boys.
Mia O'Brien here, still providing the best multimedia sports coverage in Northeast Florida on 1010XL radio, video, and social channels.
All things Mia are driven by Arlington Toyota.
What could you do with an extra $75,000 right now, or even a couple $100,000? If you own a home, you can get that money in less than a week with Loan Pronto. Hey, Prosser here. Loan Pronto is the leader in quickly converting your home equity into cold, hard cash, so you can pay off all your credit cards or start that home remodel. Loan Pronto has several easy options to let you access the cash from your home. There's virtually no paperwork, no cumbersome process, no junk fees, often no appraisals. Listen, the average homeowner now has over $300,000 in equity. That's your money. Use it. One client got $150,000 out and paid off all their credit cards, 2 car loans, and a personal loan, cutting their monthly expenses by $1,500. You can get approved in as little as 1 day, so act now with no hard credit pull up front. LoanPronto.com or 904-999-1508. Get the money you need for anything at 904-999-1508 or just go to LoanPronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Jacksonville, get ready to spice up your night at One Night Taco Stand. Every Taco Tuesday, enjoy their mouth-watering tacos for just $2.99 and get your weekend started with 2-for-1 house margaritas. Find fresh Mexican street food, stiff drinks, and fun vibes at One Night Taco Stand with 3 Jacksonville locations in Mandarin, Orange Park, and Southside at Bay Meadows.
My name is Ann. I'm 67 years old. I lost 25 pounds thanks to Awaken 180 weight loss. I have so much more energy. I feel at least 20 years younger. I can run up the stairs now where it was a little bit hard for me. My knees would always hurt. I had shoulder pain. I've had elbow pain. I think it's all pretty much from the weight that I had on my body, on my frame. It feels amazing that Awaken 180 offers free maintenance for life. The fact that I have free coaching when the weight loss process is over is absolutely amazing to me.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes. Less joint pain, more energy, Reducing medications, the benefits of losing weight with Awaken 180 are endless. The ability to maintain that weight loss, priceless. Free support for life. Online at awaken180weightloss.com or call 844-346-1800.
Your new roof from Universal Roof and Contracting can help save a life. Percentage of every new roof this month will go to St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital. St. Jude's is leading the way. The world understands, treats, and defeats childhood cancer and other life-threatening diseases. Call 855-ROOF-HELP or visit universalroof.com to schedule your free roof inspection. This promotion ends February 28th. Universal Roof and Contracting, protecting your home, building your trust. License number CCC 057165, CBC 1258484.
Staying alive one night of the Bee Gees, a tribute like you've never seen before. Experience the songs and sights of a full Bee Gees playlist performed live March 6th at Jack Center for the Performing Arts. Tickets at fscjartistseries.org.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Rod Stewart last night, sensational. Ended with this one, which of course he wrote with the Faces, or just Faces. Coming out of London, him and Ronnie Wood and company. Man, what a show. Thank you to Miller Electric for listening to the show and just sending me some tickets. I totally didn't expect it. Again, I didn't think I would go because of a week off in Curacao, but I went last night, and it was, man, what a lot of fun. What a great show. You would have liked it out there, Dylan, although it would have been a lot of moms and dads in the audience.
Yeah, I assume that age is about 55 and older.
Oh, and I think I was the youngest one there, and what was really interesting is that, I'm with the GF, and I'm like, let's just kind of mosey on out of here. We'll beat traffic, or, we'll let everyone else get out. And what I really should have done is just walk straight to the gate, because people had two ways of getting out of there. One was slow and the other was stop.
I can't stand slow people at events, man.
It happens with age, man. It happens with age.
Yeah. I'm sorry, even people my age, when they walk in groups and they're like side by side, and you're just like, dude, put one foot in front of the other. Let's go.
Yeah, thank you to Carrie Stewart, though, of Miller Electric. Her and her husband. It was a lot of fun. It was a great show. It just so incredibly entertaining at times. 14 people on stage, 6 ladies on stage providing background vocals, but they also all play several different instruments. I mean, it was a great show. I'm thrilled that I went. Rod Stewart, 80 years of age. So enjoyed that last night. All right, let's get to you. Let's get to some reaction here on Mason Graham. And I do want to welcome those on YouTube. If you're watching visually tonight, you can see that I just spilled some Diet Mountain Dew all over my shirt. And there's something I never understood going back decades ago. Michael Jordan used to pick on the Chicago Bulls general manager, Jerry Krause, by calling him Crumbs Krause, because he was always spilling his food all over, and you could see it on his shirt, you could see it on his pants. And I was always under the assumption that overfed people don't create crumbs because it all goes into their belly. I can be the first to attest, okay? Every time I eat or drink, I spill on my shirt, okay? And I don't miss many meals. And I love a large size meal portion. So that is a wrong thought, if in fact that is something that maybe you have considered over the years. Just wanted to get that out for you. Mason Graham. Where are you with Mason Graham, by the way?
Leader of the clubhouse for the 5th pick. Perfectly fine with them. The only thing where it gets kind of confusing is if, and I don't think this happens, if Abdul Carter or Travis Hunter is available at that 5th pick with Mason Graham, then you run into a lot of questions, because I think Abdul Carter is the number 1 prospect in the draft, and Travis Hunter,
has that dual threat ability, even though I think he's more of a DB and can play a little bit of offense. That's where you get a bunch of questions. But I think Mason Graham will be there at 5. I think the other 2 guys will be gone. I think of all the guys outside of Abdul Carter, Mason Graham is like the more for sure will be an NFL vet for 7-8 years. Not going to pop off the screen, but be a good NFL vet for lots of years to come.
24-44, Ballou, he is overrated. Move on to the next topic. I was forced to watch Michigan each and every week this season with my buddy. He was not that impressive. Pretty interesting. 0551. Rick, do you think a lot of people want Mason because it just happened in the Super Bowl with the Eagles? It's a good point. We are constantly reminded of what we saw last. And the way that Vic Fangio designed not only that dominant defensive line in Philadelphia, but it was a dominant front seven. And they did it without what? Dean as well, who went out without late injury. He had a very good rotation. And again, you can't look past the fact that Philadelphia shut down the best player in pro football without blitzing. 42 dropbacks for Patrick Mahomes. Not one blitz by the Philadelphia defense. Yeah, I think that probably does come into a little bit of consideration. All right, 99.99 Blue. I think Mason Graham, especially because of his explosiveness, hand usage, strong against the run, loose against the pass. His relentless play style will bring a culture to our defensive line that will make other players better. Great football players do make other players better. They really do. How many players right now on the Jaguars defense makes players next to them better? How many players on the Jaguars team make others better? As great as Brian Thomas Jr. is, can we accurately say that with his dominant rookie season, he made others better? I don't know. That's a tough position. You know, maybe you can say that early in the year he was a decoy because he wasn't getting I mean, why would you target Brian Thomas Jr. when you could throw the football to Gabe Davis, right? And that's what this organization did the first quarter of the year. Again, I don't know the answer to that, but it's a very good observation. But tell me your Jaguars' choice in the NFL draft the last 2 years. I've been all about the offensive line. I mean, regular listeners to me know it. Offensive line, offensive line, offensive line, offensive line, offensive line, offensive line. Been all about that. I'm not ducking it. And they did it 2 years ago with Anton Harrison, 0917, Ballou. Does the number of sacks that Mason Graham has bother anyone? Yeah, I mean, again, it's a sexy statistic, right? 3.5 sacks this year. If he came in here as a rookie and had 3.5 sacks, but that was like his third responsibility, I'd be fine with that. If he gets 3.5 sacks, but he's gobbling up a couple of offensive linemen, he's doing an incredible job against the run. He's providing a push. Okay, go back and watch Jaguars film. There was no push. Maybe he takes the center with him. Maybe he takes the right guard with him, and because of that, Allen's not getting chipped, or he gets one-on-one responsibilities, or perhaps the same. If you go back and look at Pro Football Focus, Trayvon Walker was among NFL leaders in being chipped, meaning he was taking on a tackle and a running back, or a tackle and a tight end. There are a lot of 2-on-1 situations. And those who really know the game, Anthony Campanile, and those that are going to be fully invested on how to put these guys in the very best position. If Mason Graham does things that don't show up on the stat sheet, I think that's more important than, frankly, the number of sacks he has. I can't sit here and say he's going to be Warren Sapp. He's going to be Aaron Donald. I mean, you get that type. I mean, Joe Green. Mean Joe Green. You get that type of stuff, then, that is franchise changing. But I would think, can you clog the line? Can you do a solid job against the run? Can you read your responsibilities? Again, I'm looking at Lance Zerling here. 3 technique, activity, effort, strength, quickness, yada, yada. First step quickness. Interior disruption is inevitable. Instant read and response regularly beats lateral blocks. Okay, great leverage, body control. I mean, these are all things that you love. If he's got the ability to be in one gap and see that the ball is going with the carrier to the other gap, and he could shed and slide down the line of scrimmage, that's why the 3-cone drill and that first 10 yards is so important for defensive linemen. I could care less about the 40 speed. 0917, it's a very good question. Long-winded way, I think the numbers are a little bit misleading, okay? Because you're asking for other things besides, a sack for an interior defensive lineman. 5,200, Taven Bryan, anyone? Ugh. Man, 5,200, you just ruined what I thought was maybe the best fan interaction that we've ever had here on Into the Night, and you just blew it up with a Taven Bryan analogy. It's scary, though, isn't it? It really is. It's scary. Now, Bryan was a very late. Where was Bryan? The 20-somethings? Wasn't Bryan the year after?
Yeah, the AFC Championship. Or
the 30th pick, maybe?
Yeah, it was like 29th,
30th?
Yeah.
So there's a difference. There's a major difference. Now, people will tell you that, but we'll also check it in 3 or 4 years. And, as we said yesterday, if I could add one player right now via free agency when things begin on March 10th for this football team, for me, it would be Trey Smith, okay? A 25-year-old right guard from the Kansas City Chiefs. He was a 6th-round selection. So this whole league is hit or miss. I don't think there's anything even, there's no way that you can question that. Let me give you one more. I can't end with Taven Bryan. I cannot. 6709 NFL Draft Buzz rates him overall school 90.9 out of 100. Ranking him as the number 2 defensive lineman in this draft class. Wouldn't that make him an elite prospect? I don't think we have many elite players on our team, but no doubt. No question about it, he's elite. I think Dylan's point was spot on. If somehow Carter fell, you make the move there just because he is so highly ranked, but I find it hard to believe that is going to be the case. That he is going to be there. My opinion would be get Fries here, or not Fries, but get, that's another thing that I wanted to mention. There's a lot of talk today that Jacksonville, and I'll actually talk about this on the other side. Jair Alexander in a trade. And the guy's missed 7 games this year. He's only played in 18 games in the last 3 years. So if you look at 3 guys that have been mentioned prominently here that the Jaguars could add, Chris Godwin, Will Fries, Jair Alexander. These are 3 injured players. Everything's new. Everything changes. But don't you have to look at what this team did a year ago? They brought in an injured Eric Armstead. It didn't work. They brought in an injured Darnell Savage. It didn't work. They brought in an injured Gabe Davis. It didn't work. Feel free to bring in players who are healthy. Feel free to bring in players who have proven that they can remain healthy. I think that's something to consider with the moves that this team is getting ready to make. Much more to do. Good to have you with us. He's still in Denmark. I'm Rick Ballou. We call this Into the Night.
Follow the JU Dolphins on 1010XL.
It's senior night in Swisher. Wear white and join the Dolphins as they hop on the Hatters on the way to the finish line. JU Stetson, tonight at 7 on 1010 AM.
Ballou here for Smoonez Vision. Why Smoonez Vision? Well, I've been with Dr. Neil Smoonez now since I got back to Jacksonville in 2006. 37 years of experience he has. Smoonez Vision is a family organization that focuses on personal high-quality medical and surgical eye care. Dr. Catherine Smoonez is fellowship-trained in cornea and cataract surgery and all refractive surgery. Combined, that's 30 years plus in laser eye surgery. Visit SmoonezVision.com today. Here you can see.
This is the Mangler. Years of playing football coupled with lifestyle left my feet mangled with neuropathy. I was experiencing burning, tingling, and numbness. I spoke with 2 foot specialists and they told me there was no cure. They were wrong. I found Dr. Nate Riddle in Ponte Vedra. After utilizing his neuropathy treatment for only 2 weeks, I noticed a difference in my feet. I was regaining my feeling and balance. If you want relief from nerve pain, call Dr. Nate for a free consultation at Riddle Wellness, 904-395-5598.
This is Daytona, the awe-inspiring spectacle of Supercross, and the most challenging course to witness the air-catching, adrenaline-pumping, heart-pounding action unlike any other race in Florida. Daytona Supercross. The biggest names battle it out under the lights at the World Center of Racing. Don't miss it. The gate drops Saturday, March 1st. Secure your tickets and trackside access today at DaytonaInternationalSpeedway.com.
Are you 18 years or older, just got married, just got divorced, or have children? Listen up. Have you done your last will and estate planning? If you have questions, call Matt Hinson with the Hinson Law Firm. Reach him at 527-1700. Office is Jacksonville, Florida. And don't let the state decide your fate.
You've got a lot on your plate. The last thing you need is car trouble. At Maxie's Mechanics, we help you keep your cars, trucks, and SUVs running safely. Visit MaxieAutoRepair.com today for honest service, reliable repairs, and peace of mind for you and your family.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On February 26, 1987, Chicago Bulls Michael Jordan scored 58 points in a regular season game, breaking the Bulls' record for most points scored in one game.
When you hear Florida Gators baseball on 1010XL, it's brought to you by Renewal by Anderson, the official window and door replacement partner of the Florida Gators, and Farah & Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jaguars.
Okay, for this Cannons of Jacksonville commercial, we need an idea to really come out with a bang.
Like having a guy shot out of a cannon.
Nah, too messy. In fact, Cannons is known for all your towing needs.
So like my car won't start.
No. Towing products. Cannons does custom welding fabrication and installation of trailer hitches, goosenecks, tow bars, truck racks.
So you might say Cannons is my best shot at finding that inventory in stock?
Boom. You said it.
Visit cannonsofjacks.com.
Hey, folks, Nick here for Zero Res. And if you still have a little bit of time for the hottest price of the year on carpet cleaning, maybe you had people over for the game or you're doing early spring cleaning. But in February, only $147 for 3 rooms, plus the 4th room is free. That's right. Schedule now and you'll get 3 rooms for $147, and the 4th room is free. Yeah, the 4th room is on me. Hottest price of the year. Zero Res. Spell it forward, spell it backwards. Zero Res. It's the right way to clean.
Frank Frangie here for Stanley Pools. If you're dreaming of putting in a pool this year, choosing the right company is the most important decision you'll make. I've trusted Stanley Pools to build my pool, renovate my pool, and maintain my pool. Stanley Pools has been the best in the business since 1988, and they're still family owned. Call them today at 904-269-7277 or find them online at StanleyPoolsFL.com. That's Stanley Pools, a family tradition of fine swimming pools.
You waited forever for your new fence. Then strangers show up. Subcontractors rushing the job. Sent by the company you trusted. Frustrating, right? Superior Fence and Rail promises better. Their professionally trained builders deliver quality you can trust. No subcontractors, no shortcuts. Just the superior craftsmanship your home deserves.
When you're on the fence, about the fence, SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
Hello, First Coast. I'm sure by now now, you have seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We're an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We're committed to customer service, reliability, and have an unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today from GFL, Green for Life.
Cannonball!
Honey, someone's in our pool.
Oh, refreshing.
John, what are you doing?
Oh, hey, Dave. Seeing as how me and the guys at Clearwater Irrigation reinstalled your sprinklers after the pool contractor ripped it out, I thought you wouldn't mind if I took a quick dip.
But in a Jaguar print Speedo?
Yeah, Dave. My bad.
Clearwater Irrigation. We can't sing a lick, but we sure are good at sprinklers.
And drainage, too.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
I'm going to get a Michigan man on our show in the very near future. I want to talk about Mason Graham, but someone to watch them play weekly. Also talk about Kenneth Grant. There have been some reports out there that the Jaguars like him. He hopes to run in the 4.8s, he said today. Also hopes to put up 30 reps of 225, and he's down to 332 pounds. So Michigan fans, obviously very aware of those two defensive tackles. Just another bit on Jair Alexander. They're not going to bring in all three. And I know that this is something that all teams have to deal with, right? But I have to believe they will consider what happened here a year ago. Okay? And I want to believe that James Gladstone is smart enough to know that. Anyone can look at last year's free agency list. But how aware are they that they came in here not ready to go? Right? Not a lot of holdover from a year ago. Obviously, Tony Baselli is familiar with that. I'm sure the media at some point, we're not going to get another opportunity before free agency. You would get that opportunity, I imagine, before the NFL draft. But great NFL people are aware of all of the personnel. And that is something that, unfortunately, hurt the Jaguars a great deal. They were not ready to go. We did not watch these guys work. Gabe came in about halfway through, but, Savage had the no contact on. Armstead was on the PUP list. And I just don't think you can overspend for these guys. And they're not ready to go. I mean, if there's one thing that we learned, Jacksonville a year ago did an awful job of putting their best players in a position to make big-time plays. That is where coaching is so huge. And a big part of coaching is rep. Consistency at every position. So, whether it's Jair Alexander, Will Fries, Chris Godwin, maybe one of the three, yeah. But, bring in someone who's healthy. 53-51, Blue, trenches. Build the trenches, and then build upon that. Build from the inside out. Get a physical football team. Go Jacks. I can't argue with you there. This is not a physical football team. It's a very soft football team. And you better get a monster at right guard. You better get a guy who eats nails at right guard. And you have to identify that as well defensively. This team has draft capital and cash, liquid cash, to do both. I wrote it down yesterday's show. Again, this is all about you tonight. Okay? For me, wide receiver, right guard, defensive tackle. Those are my top three positions of need. Then I'm going corner, safety. Dylan, you went guard, defensive tackle, corner, wide receiver, safety. We both have safety at 5. It's just a position that is not as important as others. For the face of this franchise, for a guy that you have 6 years invested in, $75 million. You better. And listen to what James Gladstone said yesterday about how important protection. Do we have that comment? Let's see if I can find that. Oh, maybe we'll play it next hour, right? I don't remember exactly what that. The heck did I do that? I love when the desk gets cluttered. You know what's great about when the desk gets cluttered here? That means there's a lot going on. There's a lot of things that can be discussed. What the hell did I do with your shot sheet, Dylan? Crying out loud. Here we go. James Gladstone. Anything in here on 3 dynamic draft pause? I heard it. I just don't know if we have that cut. Yeah, let's try this. Let's try Gladstone's presser yesterday. Let's try number 10, if we can do that.
On his trade talks?
Yeah, on Trevor and putting guys around him. James Gladstone, number 10, yesterday from the press conference at the Combine in Indianapolis. Thoughts on Trevor, and again, what they can put around him. Here's your brand new general manager.
Yeah, I don't think we've seen the best of Trevor, and I'm really excited for Liam to get a chance to work with him, support him, and really bring the tools that he has in his arsenal to life. And I think it starts by the protection, right? Making sure that he feels like he's got as much time to work with as possible, and also that he's comfortable with the pass catchers. And so I think through that lens, he's going to feel that change in both the operation schematically and then the personnel that we invite into the building.
It's brilliant. I mean, that's brilliant right there. I want to hear that. I want to shut it down. I want to go drink a 12-pack of Pabst Blue Ribbon, right? And just fire up a cigar and have a great time. That is brilliant. Remember Liam Cohen's opinion on the offensive line at his original press conference. Liam Cohen had a lot more to say than just Duval, right? I mean, he actually said some really good things. Go back and reread what he said about the offensive line in his original press conference. It was outstanding. It's crystal clear to me that this part of the brain test, and then you add Tony Baselli, who's a Hall of Fame offensive line. The offensive line has been soft. The offensive line has been friendly. Address it. Now, I'm with you on the defensive line, too. I am. But I'm about offense first. Most of you are about defense first. That's why I've opened it up tonight for Mason Graham. 64-23. I don't want Travis Hunter. I want a big, nasty, and powerful lineman. I'm going to argue with you there. There's always an exception to the rule. I think it's Hunter. He's the only one. Now, listen, I'll see what he runs. About T-Mac, now, you know my opinion. I want a wide receiver 1. I look at Hunter as a DB that can be involved in some offensive packages. Doesn't mean my opinion's not going to change here based on what he does, how he runs. And I also, whether it's the gauntlet drill or any of these other type of drills that they do, I want to get a better understanding of his route running, which apparently is poor. And, that lack of overall separation that he does have. The body is incredible, man. He's 6'5", 212. I mean, he's got the makings of like a Mike Evans. Maybe not as big as Mike. He's got the makings of a, who the heck am I thinking of? The free agent for the Cincinnati Bengals. T. Higgins. Yeah, he's got the body. Does he have the speed? That's going to be one of the most, I think, important 40s for this organization. Right now, I think it's kind of wishful thinking that they draft him at 5. It just doesn't equal, right? But could this organization move down to 7 or 8 or 9, acquire another top pick, not a first-round pick, but another high pick, and still get your guy? They did that last year with Brian Thomas Jr. Look how that turned out. All right, great stuff from you. We're going to get back to you a little bit later on in the show. You can always continue with your comments at 641-1010 on the text line. You can always get, and that's brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. You can always get me on Twitter, Ballou1010XL. Let's go out live to Indianapolis. We're going to do that for the next 3 nights. We begin with John Oehser of Jaguars.com. Tomorrow will be Demetrius Harvey from the Florida Times-Union. Friday, it'll be John Shipley from Jaguars SI. Johnny O, he's up next. He goes into the night.
The Players Championship is the biggest PGA Tour event you can win.
If you can't make it to the Players, let 1010XL bring the Players to you with Southeast Orthopedic Specialist Leaderboard updates. Cheat Up by Renewal by Anderson, Custom Windows and Doors.
The Deck Guys.
And Taco Lou.
Do you have clicking, popping, swelling, or pain in your knee or shoulder? This can be due to arthritic changes in your joints. Over time, you have wear and tear of your cartilage. I am Dr. George Bari, and here at Bari Orthopedics, we have numerous ways to treat your arthritis, such as regenerative medicine, including PRP and joint replacements with CT guidance for accuracy down to the millimeter. If you are experiencing any of these symptoms, call us for an appointment today, or log on to BariOrthopedics.com.
Find out more at BariOrthopedics.com. That's BAHRI Orthopedics.com.
Call the Deck Guys if you want a brand new deck, pavers or more. Call 904-813-2474.
TheDeckGuysJacks.com.
When it rains, it better drain. If storm drains on your commercial property aren't doing their job, this is a major liability that needs to be corrected. Call Duck Duck Rooter to have your storm drains jetted and cleaned with our powerful vac con truck. We'll clear the way for better drainage. Call 904-862-6769. Visit DuckDuckRooter.com. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jags. Duck Duck Rooter, your fully insured certified plumbing and underground utility contractor.
WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Daly's Dash is not only your Jaguars game day stop, but a great place to grab a meal any day of the week. To honor the Jags and the fans, we've crafted the Duval Sub. The Duval comes with freshly sliced turkey, ham, melted cheddar, and habanero jack cheese, topped with crisp lettuce, fresh tomatoes, and a double portion of our secret sauce, all served on a fresh roll. Come by your local's Daly's Dash today to get your delicious Duval Sub. Daly's is the official convenience store sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Mia here. You want to know what I'm so over? Resolutions. You want to know what I am into? The revolution, hitting the road in a new Toyota from Arlington Toyota. So what do you say? Join the Arlington Toyota revolution and save big with financing as low as 0% on select new models. Or get up to $8,500 off select new Toyotas. Plus, every new Toyota purchase from Arlington Toyota comes with Arlington's lifetime warranty and 60-day exchange. Shop in person on Atlantic Boulevard, just a quarter mile east of 295, or at arlingtontoyota.com. Visit arlingtontoyota.com/0% for full details.
This is Hayes Carline for Kingfish Pest Control, a local family-owned business that's been chosen as the exclusive pest control provider for the brand new state-of-the-art Miller Electric Performance Center. As a Kingfish customer myself, I know their effectiveness in keeping spiders, roaches, bugs, and termites out. When I trust them for my family and the Jags trust them for their business, then you can too. For the best service in town, call my friends at Kingfish Pest Control, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
I'm with Greg from Cycles of Jacksonville, and you got really cool things going on right now because there's new product coming in the showroom. Tell everybody about the Aprilia Demo Days.
March 11th and 12th. It's a Tuesday, Wednesday. We're going to have the Aprilia Demo Truck. We caught them on the way back from Daytona Bike Week. They're going to be there. Come ready to ride.
Tell everybody real quick about Aprilia.
They are a bad Italian motorcycle. Nobody's ever ridden an Italian anything and said that wasn't fun.
Check it out. Cycles of Jacksonville. All the details on their Facebook page.
Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you. Call 904-722-1111.
Instant Keys saves the day if you've lost or broken keys. They can program new keys and remotes for nearly every make and model of vehicle at a fraction of the dealership cost. Fast, honest, and reliable locksmith service. Call Instant Keys, 722-1111.
I'm Carl. I'm 68 years old, and I lost 40 pounds thanks to Awaken 180 weight loss. And looking at pictures, I realized that my color wasn't good. I looked bloated, constantly tired, out of breath. It got to the point where I decided it was time to pick up the phone and call Awaken 180. The combination of the diet and the coaching really pushed me over the top. My self-confidence soared. I'm walking. I'm working out. Instead of 68, I feel like I'm 28. I just had my annual physical, and my doctor looked at my blood pressure, and he said, what did you do? What happened? And I explained that I'm on the Awaken 180 program. I've never felt so good in my life. And as somebody that sometimes likes to take the shortcut, I didn't have to do that with this program. Awaken 180 is my solution for weight loss.
Carl's solution for weight loss, my solution for weight loss. Matt Hayes here. Lower blood pressure, increased confidence, feeling years younger. Want the same results? Then do what we did and make your own at Awaken180, weightloss.com.
Youth sports at the YMCA's focus on teamwork, discipline, and building confidence. Our experienced coaches can create a positive and supportive environment where your kids can grow, stay active, and develop a love for sports. Sports like basketball, volleyball, swimming, gymnastics, and even elite skills training. Join the fun and register. Give your kids a chance to be a part of something special. Visit fcymca.org to learn all about youth sports at the Y.
Transform your bathroom with stunning shower glass from Sky Glass Solutions in Jacksonville Beach. For a free quote, call 904-608-5151 or visit skyglasssolutions.com.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. It's time for Oh No's with Jaguars.com's John Oehser. Oh No's. Oh, really? Oh, yeah. Served up by Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views.
All right, Hodges Mazda at the Avenues. They do present the NFL Combine. Our coverage brought to you by Window World of Northeast Florida. Let's bring in John Oehser. Of course, he is the senior writer for Jaguars.com. Feels like down here in Duval, John, there's quite a Jacksonville buzz in Indianapolis.
Yeah, it feels like it, certainly, Rick. I mean, it's a little hard for me to tell what the buzz is in Jacksonville, and there's a lot going on at the Combine. I'm sure Jacksonville is consuming everything that we're all talking about. But I think having the Gladstone availability on Monday and then going right into the Combine, the Jags are certainly on the national radar. And it feels, I hate to say this because I know listeners say, well, we've heard this from you guys before, but this all feels like the right combination. I believe Tony Vaselli is having a huge influence on sort of the culture and the vibe and even the hires, the synchronicity of it. It feels great, but it's felt great before. So now we got to see what the results are going to be. But all you have right now, I think you know where I'm going with it. All you have in February when there's a regime change is what they're saying.
Mm-hmm.
And what they're saying, Gladstone seems like a high-end communicator. Cohen seems like a high-end guy being able to reach players, and they're in lockstep. That's about all you can be right now before stuff gets real.
And one thing that would identify or really support what you just said, the latter part of what you just supported about how they're thinking the same way. And we do know that they were with one another, obviously, in Los Angeles. But when Liam Cohen got here, his initial press conference, I loved what he said about the offensive line. He used 6 or 7 different words that really describe what he expects in the offensive line. And then yesterday, Gladstone gets up there, answers questions, and he's very thorough on Trevor Lawrence, but absolutely points out how protection is the biggest part, really the first thing that needs to be identified to make Trevor, put him in a position to do what he can do best.
Well, he talked in specifics, and I think it was him that I talked to both of them for a long time, so it's hard to remember which one said what, which is probably a good thing, right? So he also talked about protecting the interior, making sure that when Trevor throws or the quarterback throws, that he feels like he can step up. That's pretty specific. It tells me that they've sort of seen what the issues are around here. And he also, GMs try to be guarded when they're on the podium, but occasionally they'll give away sort of some hints about what they're doing. He had a specific quote, Gladstone did, where he talked about the focus is going to be on the 2 lines and guys that can score points. I thought that was telling. because the secondary has holes too, right? So even with those holes, philosophically, they believe they need to be a team that stops the run, that disrupts at the point of attack, that protects the passer, and then when they have a chance to score, they score. That's sort of the formula the Eagles have used, right? So they have a vision for what they want this to be. Now you got to go execute it in player acquisition.
John Oehser, senior writer, and get everything from John and his staff live from the Combine. They've been out there for the last 4 days. Joins us every Wednesday night at 7 o'clock. You and I have been covering the NFL forever, and there's always been one final decision maker. Gladstone on Monday here talked about it being a combined effort, and then listening to Liam Cohen yesterday said it in his way, both identifying the fact that they welcome disagreements when it comes to personnel, but they both said they will collaborate and they will decide. If not, they'll move on. To me, this is the biggest concern. If there was a concern, do you see this working without the one final decision maker?
Well, I think that you have to, if you're going to do it that way, I think you probably need to have success making the decisions as you move forward, so you don't get to a point where there's just massive philosophical disagreement. From listening to Gladstone, this is clearly what he came from in Los Angeles.
Mm-hmm.
So it's worked. He said that multiple times. He said one of the things that made him like what the concept was he saw it work at his previous stop. So even though I know everybody out there is saying, well, at some point they're going to disagree and somebody has to make the decision. Well, I think philosophically, they know that when that happens and you move on from the player, I thought Cohen said it best. It may have been on our broadcast. If you're in that level of disagreement with a guy, then the best and I'm more thinking along the lines of, okay, high-profile free agent or high-level draft pick. If there's that much of a disagreement, then at some point they reach a thought of, you know what, this one ain't worth it. If we both disagree, this is not the right guy. So, yeah, I think that can work. And if it becomes a situation where they can't get along on these kind of things, then it has to break up anyway. So I do think it's a little tricky because it's not the conventional way of looking at it. But looking at it from the way they're talking about it, I certainly can see it working.
Do you believe that Gladstone just went in and won the job? I mean, I thought it was Ian Cunningham, and we know we went from 10 to 5, but this was kind of a late bloomer in the process. Is it safe to say, John, that this guy just went in there and simply took that job?
Well, I get the idea, much like a lot of jobs happen, right? I think Cohen, once he got Gladstone involved with it, probably knew James Gladstone well enough to know, if I get this guy in the process, he's going to win. And some of that is because I'm sure I think Liam probably went in wanting him because he had worked with him. And he knew how intelligent and sharp he was and what a high-level communicator he was. I don't know that Ian Cunningham was as much of a internal favorite going in as he was an external favorite. I think he was certainly involved with it, but I never got the idea that he was a leader in the clubhouse, so to speak, because I don't think they wanted there to be a leader in the clubhouse.
Yeah.
But answer your question, he certainly. I could see, knowing Shad on the level that I do, and I'm not saying it's a great level. I'm saying, as much as I know of him and have been around him, he's a high-level thinker and communicator when you talk to him one-on-one. He's unbelievably intelligent. I absolutely can see how if Shad Khan is in a room with James Gladstone, that he likes what he's hearing, because James Gladstone is very good at communicating his idea, getting his thought from his mind into a place where it can be understood clearly. He's all about process, which Shad's an engineer, remember. So loves knowing how things are going to work and it's going to be communicated well. if it was about winning Shad, I can absolutely see where James Gladstone, where Shad loved Gladstone, and I know that Tony and Liam did because of that communication factor and the ability to put his thoughts into work.
All right, final thought on Gladstone, and I tell you what, the thing that I admire most is he's 34, and everyone says, how young he is. Those 9 years in L.A., he saw polar opposites. He saw this organization give up picks to go get Jalen Ramsey, to go get Matt Stafford, to go get Leonard Floyd, to go get who's the other edge guy that I'm thinking about that they
Stewart at A&M.
Who's the other guy that they got, the veteran, the Los Angeles Rams, off the edge?
I'm drawing a blank.
Do you remember, Dylan? We talked about it yesterday.
Byron Young?
Yeah, no,
Okay,
it wasn't Brian Young, but it was someone else coming off the edge. But anyway, he gave up picks like they were meaningless, and they won a Super Bowl, and then he turns things around. He advances his career in scouting strategy, and they come up with 10 starters, including the Defensive Player of the Year this past season.
Well, I think it speaks to what they both talked about, which, you're learning these guys' buzzwords, right? And Liam Cohen loves to talk about pivoting, right? Okay, this is our situation now where how do we pivot to stay true to what we're doing? And I think that probably is an element of that. The Rams knew they were close, and so they pivoted from drafting and developing to, okay, now we're going to go after it. We're going to go get these players, get a Super Bowl. Once they did that, then all of a sudden their cap, they couldn't keep doing that forever. You can't keep mortgaging the future. Well, they had to pivot back to being draft and develop. They certainly did both. They did both at the right time. I didn't think they'd be able to contend after their run as quickly as they have. I think that's where Gladstone's stock really went up. He's seen how you have to operate in the modern NFL. What I really liked about what he said yesterday, I don't think he wants to use free agency big time early. He's talking about the draft, talking about being moderate in free agency. I think that's what this franchise needs because it needs to have its own players being its leaders. So I think that's the way they're going to move. But it is good that he knows both ways, and that at some point when you get close, now's the time to go. It looks like he can do that.
Von Miller was the name that I was looking for.
That's a big name.
And no doubt about it, a huge name.
It's a big Hall of Fame name.
Yeah, absolutely. Last question for you. What did you make out of meeting Mason Graham for the first time in Indianapolis?
Honestly, wasn't over there. We were doing shows today. We had our Jaguars AM this morning.
Okay.
I do know that there's a feeling of I usually like to get over there and at least see him. I don't care much about what they say. But the book on Mason Graham is unbelievable player and production. Teams are going to have to figure out when you look at him, he's not as impressive as, say, a Mason Smith. Like, he doesn't wow you walking through the hallway. I don't think that'll bother this team at all because clearly the way the Rams scout, remember, they don't bother with the combine very much. They're not about how a guy looks. They're about the tape. They're about what they see from him. So they love him as a player. Everybody does. But that's been kind of the buzz about Mason Graham. He's not an airport guy.
Yeah.
Like, he's not going to wow you. But at this point, I don't care about that, Rick. He can play.
Yeah, no doubt. Very interesting. Yeah, I mean, he only weighs, 320, 322? I think they'd like him a little bit bigger, but he certainly is athletic and was dominant at Michigan.
His tape's unbelievable. His tape's unbelievable with everything you hear. And I do think that this team will lean toward, hey, we're scouting off the tape and not the hallway.
Right. No doubt. Hey, John, safe trip back here to Duval. Thank you as always.
All right, Rick. Thanks, buddy.
There he goes, John Oehser. Some good stuff there. Not necessarily an airport guy. They got an airport guy last year in Miles Cole. All right, when you look at him, and I'm not giving up on Miles Cole. I think he is so raw. But, there's a 6'6", 290-pound guy who didn't really do anything at Louisiana Monroe for 4 years, then took advantage of the transfer portal, went over to Texas Tech, still was basically pedestrian You know, this is one of those deals where you take a flyer. It's a 7th-round pick. Can you develop them? Can you get something out of them? And you got a little bit of playing time last year. But, you know, there would be your definition of an airport guy. No doubt about it. My goodness, what a monster. When I remember interviewing him for the first time over at the Miller Electric Center in the latter part of July, which, by the way, will be here before you know it. Enjoy it. Enjoy all of this. Enjoy the Players' Championship coming up in 11 days. The week of, March 9th? Is that when the week begins?
Yeah, that weekend's like the 14th.
It goes 9 through, what does it begin on, the 9th? TPC week, do you know? I don't have a calendar in front of me, for crying out loud. I just, you know, I enjoy every day. I enjoy February 26th. It begins Sunday the 9th.
Yeah, Sunday the 9th and
Saturday
the
the 10th.
15th, 16th.
How about, so that means today is the 7th? The 26th. We have tonight and 2 days left in February, which is scary. March 1st is Sunday. March 1st is Saturday. Are you kidding me? I mean, that means we are 12 days away from the legal period of tampering in pro football. 10 days away, and then you can start to announce it officially 2 days later. John Oehser just said he does not think initially they're going to be big spenders in free agency. I think you have to address at least one thing in free agency. Wide receiver, right guard, cornerback. I'm not going to overspend for defensive tackle in free agency, especially if their mind is made up on this guy. You can get a really good football under a rookie contract at number 5, right? And right now it feels like Mason Graham is where they're going. I've given you my opinion. I wouldn't do that. But I do hope via free. Again, I kind of envision this team adding a wide receiver in free agency, but it's going to be a wide receiver where you ask yourself, is he still a number 2? What if they make a move and get a Cooper Kupp? Right? Can he still be a number 2 at this point in his career? I think they address safety in free agency. Spend some cash there, bring in a starter. You follow me? I wouldn't be surprised if they tried to find an edge guy in free agency that's cost affordable, that is clearly the number 3, the 3 guy on the edge, that is a role player that they can get a little something out of, considering they got nothing out of it a year ago. But I would love for them to really spend and just get one position group taken care of. And for me, that would be a right guard. That is where I would go. I would spend my money on a right guard. And then maybe try to fill another spotter here. But that would still leave open wide receiver and defensive tackle and cornerback, for that matter, if they're only going to spend on one position. Who knows what they're going to do? And let's head to this break. I'll also say this. It doesn't feel like they're going to bring back any of their free agents. Right now, the only 2 free agents that I can see them possibly making a run at, Luke Farrell as a blocking tight end. Can you get him at a decent going rate? Or does this football organization look ahead and say, we want to go in a different direction? The other guy for me would be Blake Hance. Now, a guy that you think is part of your offensive line, 9-man offensive line on Sunday. Has Blake Hance earned that? He's a backup offensive lineman. Or can you get better elsewhere? I don't know. But I look at the rest of the list. I'm like, no. Cisco, no. All these free agents, no. They're all gone. Much more to do with you tonight till 8.
Tensions build.
3rd and 12. Let's go.
Plot thickens.
We got to get off the field.
Crowds roar. Tune in and let the show begin. Your home for live play-by-play is 1010XL.
This is Mark Nato. My son Justin injured his hand playing baseball for JU. Southeast orthopedic specialist performed surgery just a few days later, and within 5 weeks, he was cleared to play in the ASUN baseball tournament. Our family has trusted Southeast orthopedic specialists for years. For any orthopedic injury, let Southeast orthopedic specialists take care of you too.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
This is the sound of turning small bets into legendary wins. Only on the Hard Rock Bet Sportsbook app. The sound of parlays. The sound of paydays. The sound of watching the game will never be the same. Hard Rock Bet has already paid out millions and millions in parlays to people across Florida. Download Hard Rock Bet now, and if your first bet doesn't win, get up to $100 back as a bonus bet. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to play. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about gambling? Please call 1-888-ADMIT-IT.
Hey folks, Nick here for Zero Res, and if you still have a little bit of time for the hottest price of the year on carpet cleaning, maybe you had people over for the game or you're doing early spring cleaning, but in February, only $147 for 3 rooms, plus the 4th room is free. That's right, schedule now and you'll get 3 rooms for $147, and the 4th room is free. Yeah, the 4th room is on me. Hottest price of the year. Zero Res. Spell it forward, spell it backwards. Zero Res. It's the right way to clean.
C-E-R-O-R-E-C. Zero Res.
There's a lot on the line in a divorce. Your home, savings, maybe even your kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce and the unexpected directions it can take, you need a partner you can count on. I'm Rick Julius, a partner at Cordell & Cordell. Don't let divorce take more than it has to.
Offices in Jacksonville. Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's attorneys. Lisa Cargis, Florida resident partner. Rick Julius, licensed in Pennsylvania only. Online at CordellCordell.com.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On February 26, 1987, Chicago Bulls Michael Jordan scored 58 points in a regular season game, breaking the Bulls' record for most points scored in one game.
Have you tried golfing at the improved Cimarron Golf Club? If you haven't, tell you what, you're missing out on the best deal in Jacksonville. Now, many of you have received a postcard in the mail, and of course, if you bring that with you, $45 plus tax to play. That includes a cart, lunch, and a beer at the brand new Stone Barrel Tap House. Now, go to the website, that is CimarronGolfClub.com, and sign up for the Wild One Loyalty Program. That's the Wild One Loyalty Program, and get all of these specials emailed to you from Cimarron.
Experience the high-flying action truly unlike anything on the Supercross circuit at Daytona Supercross. Saturday, March 1st. Side-by-side intensity of Monster Energy AMA Supercross on the most demanding track of the circuit. Get close to the action as riders get pushed to the limits on the Ricky Carmichael-designed track. For a chance to win tickets to Daytona Supercross, answer this. Who won the 450 Final Supercross at Daytona in 2024? Text the winner's last name to 641-1010 now.
Crosser here, still telling you about Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. Lifetime Enclosures is keeping the sale going into February. Enclosures starting at only $89 a month, and if you get a complete enclosure done, you get free flooring. If you just need flooring, Lifetime Flooring is running a buy one room, get the second room free. Now offering floor coating for that garage or patio deck too. Give them a call or visit their showrooms just off Phillips Highway. Proud partners of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Frank Frangie here for Stanley Pools. If you're dreaming of putting in a pool this year, choosing the right company is the most important decision you'll make. I've trusted Stanley Pools to build my pool, renovate my pool, and maintain my pool. Stanley Pools has been the best in the business since 1988, and they're still family owned. Call them today at 904-269-7277 or find them online at StanleyPoolsFL.com. That's Stanley Pools, a family tradition of fine swimming pools.
Hey, nice job, Pete. I like those clean lines. Fellas, do we have anyone that can get to Greenport today?
At Corey's Landscaping, the staffing plan is in the weeds.
Anthony, we need that leaf blower over here. 3 more new customer requests just came in. Who wants to work some overtime?
He needs to dig up quality landscapers and fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Your home is your sanctuary where memories are made. Jack's homeowners trust Superior Fence and Rail to make their home feel safe, secure, and complete. Imagine a classic wood fence for privacy, sturdy aluminum to protect your pets, or a modern vinyl design that boosts curb appeal. Every fence is built with precision and pride, standing strong in every season.
When you're on the fence, about a fence, SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
Hello, First Coast. I'm sure by now you have seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We're an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We're committed to customer service, reliability, and have an unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today from GFL, Green for Life.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Fourth inning downtown at JU, Florida State 3, JU 3. And top half of the fourth inning. Noles ranked number 7 in college baseball. Gators up 1-0, bottom of the third against UNF. That's in Gainesville. Gators ranked 8th in America. And the Miami Hurricanes up 7-1 right now, bottom of the fourth against Florida Gulf Coast. Keeping you updated on some college baseball. God, they start early. And they always have. Spring training underway, games underway, and they'll do it here throughout the remainder of February and certainly into March. And then we'll get the regular season. How great is April? Start of Major League Baseball, the NFL draft, the Masters. What an awesome month. March is pretty incredible, too. Free agency, the Players' Championship, the whole Southern Swing gets underway tomorrow at Palm Beach Gardens, the Cognizant Classic in Palm Beaches. March Madness, as I said, and, certainly the beginning of free agency in pro football. This is my final thought on this after our conversation with John Oehser. The 0924 says, we welcome disagreements until people are at each other's throats. This is a joke. Someone needs to make a commanding decision. I agree with this. And where it's going to rear its ugly head is when you lose. Okay, right now it all sounds good. Right now I'll say to you that I want to see this work, obviously. And I really went overboard on this on Monday, and some people said I was a buzzkill and this and that this is the way it works in regular business. Don't give me your regular business. This is football. Okay? You're not going to compare football-related decisions to your law firm, to your business, okay? That's different. It's a fine line. There's so many massive decisions that this organization has to make. What you're going to see is that guys who are in power are going to budge and agree with others. Does it become a majority? What if two of these say Mason Graham and the third says, hell no, Hunter's available? You don't know who you go to. This has never happened before. Every team has a decision maker. We do not know who the decision maker is. Now, they're saying all the right things. Okay? But this team has massive amounts of... And what if Liam Cohen's pounding the table saying, we need Chris Godwin? He's 28. I know he dislocated his ankle. Look what he could do being a part of this offense. And if Gladstone looks right at him and says, no, I don't want to overspend to get this guy. He's coming off an injury. I think we can address it in the draft. There you go. Are you just going to move on from that situation? So I'm in support here, but to me, this is the most awkward part of it. You don't have a final decision maker. And, there hasn't been a lot of success around here. To me, it's scary. I want to believe that each of the three, including Tony Baselli, are going to have their role. They're going to take over what they do best. But we won't hear about this until the organization begins losing. Now, hopefully it won't be anything like what we just witnessed, where there was more finger-pointing than anything I've ever seen before. It was gross. It was awful. And today, the NFLPA just destroyed the Jaguars. They just hammered Doug Peterson. Crystal clear that the players here in town are not a fan of Doug Peterson. They went from 5th to 18th overall. When asked what their top improvement area would be, each of the top 3 answers reflected low ratings on Doug Peterson. Players cite poor time efficiency, a lack of willingness to listen, and a weak team culture. Okay? The Jaguars were 31st in team facilities for families, treatment of families. There's no way they could be worse than facilities. They get the best facility in all of sports with the Miller Electric Center. 31st in treatment of families. I really can't comment on that because I don't know. I know the stadium is way outdated. There's not enough social events. There's not enough room for families. There's not enough sideline passes. There's a lot of things. And again, I'm not going to play the role of an apologist here, but I think their hands are tied considering where the building is. I expect that to get much better once the new building is put in place. Food and dining C+. Are you kidding me? It's a brand new facility. How can it be a C+? My times in there, it's been absolutely spectacular. Nutritionalist, dietitian, a B. Locker room B+. What? It's a brand spanking new locker room. The thing is unbelievable. A B+. Training room, a B+. Brand new training room.
Is it going to be like college now where you get a facility and after 2 years it's old? Got to get new technology in there?
You should see this training room right in the Miller Electric Center, right off of the indoor practice facility. A B+. Training staff, B-. Don't understand that. Weight room, A. Okay. Training room, B+. Weight room, I said that incorrectly. They got an A for the weight room. They deserve it. Strength coaches, B. Team travel, B+. That's disappointing. I like all those guys there, logistically speaking. Head coach, C. Ownership, B+. Doug Peterson went from, what was it here? 19th to 31st when it came to their coach. Poor timing efficiency, lack of willingness to listen, weak team culture. It's crystal clear that they no longer supported Doug Peterson. It's crystal clear that they did not like Doug Peterson. But I'll also say this. A lot of it's on the players. It really is. And it's why I go overboard with my opinion all the time on how you cannot be a disciplinarian anymore. You cannot scold. You cannot discipline. You have to coddle. You do. You have to massage. It is such a difficult situation to be a head coach in this league. And I get it. Peterson was smug. Peterson kind of took on the role, and he checked out in his final year. He absolutely did. He checked out with his team. He checked out with the media. He certainly was at massive odds with the former general manager. Notice I don't mention his name anymore. But some of it's on the players. These players are babies at times. And 57% felt he was efficient. I mean, that is one smidge over half your team. And I would imagine in this situation, it's everyone involved. Practice squad guys who in a lot of circumstances, just lucky to be there. It was brutal. 31 out of 30. I was looking at some other stuff. I mean, like Mike Tomlin got like an A+ or an A in this category. Mike Tomlin's got the respect of the Pittsburgh Steelers that regardless of what happens, win or lose, getting knocked out of the playoffs every year early, the players love him and want to play hard for him. That is so hard to get nowadays in pro football. The report card is awful for Jacksonville. And, what they have going for them is that incredible facility at the Miller Electric Center, and they love team ownership. They're happy with Shad Khan. But a lot of this, to me, reeks of being selfish prima donna football players who don't take enough accountability and put it on themselves. To man up and find ways to win games. To man up and not come out every single game and not be able to do anything in the first quarter offensively. Okay, let's blame the script. Let's blame the scripted plays. Let's blame the lack of continuity throughout the week, the lack of work in game pressure. Fine. You can do all that. But I'm looking at this, I think, a little bit differently than so many others. The players have to be responsible for this as well. And they were not. 19th a year ago, 31st this year with Doug Peterson, right? 19 is probably because of what? They were 8-3. And then they fell apart. There were injuries. There were massive concerns. You went from 5th overall, though, to 18? That is a big budge. No doubt about it. All right, let's wrap it up with our friend Rafael Esparza. Why don't we do that? If you want to comment on this, I barely spoke on it. Maybe I'll get to it a little bit tomorrow or Friday. A lot of this falls into categories that separate winning and losing, right? If you've ever been part of a winning organization, you know what it's like when things are successful. You also know what it's like when things are bad. The entire building changes. But culture change is massive. Have to believe it's going to be better now with these incoming guys, and certainly Tony Baselli being there. You think it's going to be able to turn this whole thing around. But the most important thing will be separating W's from L's. How does this team start to win football games once again? All right, much more to do. We do tonight till 8.
The world will be watching Ponte Vedra.
And the Scheffler victory train just keeps on rolling.
Get live Southeast Orthopedic Specialist leaderboard updates.
Teed up by Roundtree Sauce,
Surfside Pools,
and Performance Painting
on 1010XL.
What's happening, folks? E.T. here. And get out of the house and crush those New Year's resolutions on the beautiful trails of Clay County. With perfect weather, now's the time to explore Jennings State Forest, Mike Rose Gold Head State Park, and Belmore State Forest. And after your hike, refuel at one of Clay's local favorites, like Dalton's Sports Grill or the Corner Pocket. Clay is my home, so I can promise you my people will take care of you. Trust me, just visit exploreclay.com and share those adventures at #ExploreClay.
Life is about choices and the decisions you make. I'm David Robbins with Epstein & Robbins. If you're convicted of a DUI, you'll have to face severe consequences. Walking through the doors of the courthouse or appearing at a bond hearing can be extremely intimidating. Without the right lawyer, you're likely to make the wrong decision. Let our team help you make the right decisions in court. Epstein & Robbins, the right choice.
Epstein & Robbins. Fighting for your rights since 1975.
The Edwin Watts Golf Hour will meet you at the green.
Blue skies, fresh cut grass, birds chirping.
The Edwin Watts Golf Hour.
Grip it and rip it.
Get tips, tour notes, and the latest gear Saturday mornings at 10 on 1010XL.
3D Digital has you covered for any of your business's digital marketing needs. From producing award-winning videos to getting those digital ads to follow your customers around the internet, our team has your back. Visit 3ddigital.com or give us a call at 904-712-4004 to schedule a free consultation today. 904-712-4004.
future of football put their best feet forward.
Let's get started.
Hodges Mazda presents the Frangie Show at the Combine. Opened by Window World of Northeast Florida. Roll through the off-season with AA Automotive on Richard Street and 1010XL.
A customer with an older home and galvanized piping called saying they had poor water pressure. It smelled bad and was discolored. So we at Duck Rooter sent a highly skilled manager to discuss options. How repiping the water lines would solve the issues. The result? Clean flowing water. Call for your free estimate, 904-862-6769. Visit DuckDuckRooter.com. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jags. Serving commercial and residential, fully insured and certified plumbing contractor.
Mia here. You want to know what I'm so over? Resolutions. You want to know what I am into? The revolution hitting the road in a new Toyota from Arlington Toyota. So what do you say? Join the Arlington Toyota Revolution and save big with financing as low as 0% on select new models. Or get up to $8,500 off select new Toyotas. Plus, every new Toyota purchase from Arlington Toyota comes with Arlington's lifetime warranty and 60-day exchange. Shop in person on Atlantic Boulevard, just a quarter mile east of 295 or at arlingtontoyota.com. Visit arlingtontoyota.com/0% for full details.
This is Hayes Carline for Kingfish Pest Control, a local family-owned business that's been chosen as the exclusive pest control provider for the brand new state-of-the-art Miller Electric Performance Center. As a Kingfish customer myself, I know their effectiveness in keeping spiders, roaches, bugs, and termites out. When I trust them for my family and the Jags trust them for their business, then you can too. For the best service in town, call my friends at Kingfish Pest Control, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
I'm with Greg from Cycles of Jacksonville, and you got really cool things going on right now because there's new product coming in the showroom. Tell everybody about the Aprilia Demo Days.
March 11th and 12th. It's a Tuesday, Wednesday. We're going to have the Aprilia Demo Truck. We caught them on the way back from Daytona Bike Week. They're going to be there. Come ready to ride.
Tell everybody real quick about Aprilia.
They are a bad Italian motorcycle. Nobody's ever ridden an Italian anything and said that wasn't fun.
Check it out. Cycles of Jacksonville. All the details on their Facebook page.
Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you.
Instant Keys saves the day if you have lost or broken keys. They can program new keys and remotes for nearly every make and model of vehicle at a fraction of the dealership cost. Fast, honest, and reliable locksmith service. Call 722-1111.
Instant Keys. Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you.
You've got a lot on your plate. The last thing you need is car trouble. At Maxie's Mechanics, we help you keep your cars, trucks, and SUVs running safely. Visit MaxieAutoRepair.com today for honest service, reliable repairs, and peace of mind for you and your family.
With 50 years of fabrication expertise in towing products, the family at Cannons of Jacksonville can repair or install precisely what you need to tow with confidence. Visit cannonsofjacks.com, where quality and customer satisfaction collide.
Need cash? Beaches Jewelry and Pawn has cash, and they're ready to buy guitars, surfboards, jewelry, firearms, tools, and especially gold. And gold market prices are at a record high. Get cash on the spot at Beaches Jewelry and Pawn in Jacks Beach.
February is Cancer Prevention Month, and Ackerman Cancer Center will help you take charge of your well-being. Their new location at World Golf Village off I-95 now provides screenings for prostate, bladder, and colorectal cancers. Visit AckermanCancerCenter.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, the Cool Down with Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing. Keeping Jack's cool since 1987.
All right, lots happening today, and in Indianapolis, Mason Graham did meet with the media there. A lot of people have him pegged to be the Jaguars' pick at number 5. 6'3", 320 pounds, basically a three-technique guy out of Michigan. Stout against the run with incredible speed and the ability to shed blockers, and a guy that will give you some push that the Jaguars so desperately have lacked with the interior defensive line. Tomorrow, you get your first opportunity to watch drills actually on television. That'll begin tomorrow on the NFL Network. The first couple of days have been a lot of height and weight and interviews. But as far as NFL fans, if you're big on watching these prospects work out, you'll get that opportunity tomorrow, beginning on Thursday at the NFL Scouting Combine. Let's bring in our good buddy, Rafael Esparza, who joins us each and every week live from Las Vegas. He is with MyBookie and MyBookie.org. How you doing, Rafael?
I am doing well. How about yourself?
I'm doing great. What do you got? You have odds on the Combine? I know this is something that continues to get bigger year after year.
I actually didn't do Combine odds this year. I've been working on other stuff, so I handed it off. So I haven't seen anybody. I have to go refresh and see if they're going to put any odds up. We normally do, but the betting-wise on the NFL Combine has not been good yet. Everyone wants to talk about it, but coming through the window has not been lucrative so maybe that's why I haven't seen any.
Yeah, we saw the surprising last year 4-1 that was run. I've seen some where they have it at 4-9 to play the over or under with the 40-yard dash.
I'm just glad that they didn't ask me to do it. So I was just happy.
You're still winded from the 5,000 props you had to come up with for the Super Bowl.
A little bit. I mean, I only had like maybe a couple of days, but then March Madness is pretty much here. I've been telling people now. Conference champion starts next week. So I mean, it's just pretty much all whirlwind. And NFL mock drafts are coming out, so people want me to do more mock draft crap. So it's just a never ending. But I've been doing I did egg odds for what's the price of eggs going to be on Easter Sunday. So that was kind of interesting. I had to do a lot of media for that. So. You know me, I do everything and anything.
Well, I mean, why would you want to bet on the NFL Combine if you can bet on the price of eggs?
Yeah, I mean, $6 over under. I mean, right now I think it was a little over $5. I mean, but people don't know this, but the country of Turkey is actually shipping a whole bunch of chickens and eggs to the United States to help our egg issue.
Okay, wasn't aware of that. College baseball, outside of managers who give information to their good friends, is there any significant wagering that's going on there? Because I look right around us, both Florida and Florida State playing not each other, but playing JU and UNF respectively, both ranked in the top 8 in America. Do you get any college baseball money?
We do, but once March Madness, and then I think that's when college baseball comes up. I mean, right now, I think there's one game still left on the board. LSU's playing tonight against Dallas Baptist, and I think we had odds for LMU versus UC Riverside. But once March Madness is pretty much over, then all the MLB futures start coming in, college baseball starts coming in, and especially when conference play goes. That's when college baseball really goes full swing.
All right, what else is going on right now at MyBookie and MyBookie.org?
We got UFC this weekend. We have college basketball with some great matchups over the weekend. I can't believe Florida lost yesterday. I'm still blown away on that game yesterday. But we have some great college basketball matchups. NBA this weekend. We have boxing this weekend. Hey, come to New Orleans. It's Mardi Gras weekend as well this weekend. So it's a full swing. And they got WWE Elimination Chamber. John Cena is in it. He's back in action. So there's always something to do and bet over here at mybookie.ag.
Now, the Gators losing last night, wasn't that good for the Bucs? Don't most people play the favorite?
No, because they were such a big favorite. Everyone had the other side. So just like tonight, we're going to lead a lot of dogs. Everyone bet against Auburn tonight. So normally when you see these kind of spreads where people are betting the dogs instead of the big favorites. So right now we're probably going to be big, huge Auburn fans today.
All right, there you go. Very latest from our good friend Rafael Esparza with MyBookie, mybookie.org. Thank you, Rafael. We'll do it again soon.
Take it easy. Have a great one.
There he goes. Rafael Esparza, not involved in the odds making this year at the NFL Combine. 4.29 is the fastest 40. Fastest 20-yard shuffle, 4.02. All right. Fastest 3-cone drill, 6.56. Highest vertical, 43.8. You can play the over-under on all of these. Longest broad jump, 11 feet, 6.5 inches. Most bench press reps, 36.5. That is the 225-pound weight. Will anyone break the 40-yard dash combine record? Man, you can get minus 800 for no. I feel like that, I don't want to say automatic, but I feel like that is a real winner, but it's risky. It's minus 800. You got to lay down $800 to win 100. Or any of you out there knuckleheads to that extreme that you would risk that much? I would think not, but that's just risky. You know, I mean, when I used to play, that's why I'd always like to play dogs, right? Especially in baseball. You know, these folks play overwhelming favorites. Well, you got to win like 3 games if you're playing an overwhelming favorite compared to, you know, picking a couple of dogs. And if you get a dog that wins, it pays twofold. We will see. All right, a couple of things I didn't get to tonight that I want to get to tomorrow. One was very interesting to me. That was James Gladstone's comments on Brenton Strange. A few people have asked me about this. The way that it was worded, it felt like to some that is the end for Evan Ingram, and that Jacksonville would save $6 million if, in fact, they did say goodbye. I'll just read one quote to you. He says he's really excited about his ascension. I think he will have a part in this offense in a way we haven't seen yet. Gladstone yesterday talking about Brenton Strange. For the record, I would cut Christian Kirk. I would bring back the money there. I know you're going to eat some dead money. I just don't think you can trust Christian Kirk anymore with 2 season-ending injuries in a row. I think Evan Ingram still is very productive, but we're starting to wonder about the Liam Cohen offense. Horizontally speaking, screen game, again, the vertical approach, not as much in Tampa as it was here in Duval, even though Mike Evans is there, and Mike Evans is starting to show age a little bit. Is Evan Ingram a guy that is going to fit into the Liam Cohen offense? I don't know at this point, but it's starting to make some folks wonder if, in fact, that is the case. Again, I've been crystal clear on this. I would keep Ingram and I would cut Kirk. But I mean that's going to happen. So that's one thing I wanted to really kind of dive into tonight. I didn't get that opportunity. Possibly we'll do that coming up on Thursday.
Now, the 2-minute drill. Serviced by Cool Cats Heating and Cooling. Locally owned and operated. We're your neighbors. Find the coolest cats in town at coolcatsjacks.com.
Hacker Nation is here. Wednesday. Is it Wednesday?
It is.
Wednesday. Okay.
Yeah. Days are
kind
kind of
week, you know.
Yeah, days kind of run together. A lot going on.
Man, you're looking all spiffy with that weight 180. What are you at now? About $180?
No, actually, well, I'm at right about the 190, 195 mark. I've started the maintenance portion of Awaken 180. So now I've got the weight off. I went from 317 to the 195 area. Now it's about keeping it off, and I have no doubt that I'll be able to do that.
Yeah, well, you've changed your entire life around. That's great. I need to lose like 15, 20. I may considering doing what you have done. I don't know. I'm giving it some thought.
It's phenomenal. Cannot recommend them enough.
Yeah. My biggest problem is right now. I'm hungry now that the show is over.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
It's a bad time to eat right now.
It is not a good time
Well, think
to
about me. I get home at like 10, so that was way, way, way worse.
That was your most difficult thing,
Totally.
I have to imagine.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yes.
What do you got coming up tonight?
Yeah, obviously we're going to do a lot on the Combine. I want to talk about Tony Baselli. I was really impressed with his conversation with Frangie earlier today here on 1010XL. And then I did a poll, and it's interesting. I don't know if you saw it. Just a simple question. I don't think this is going to happen, but hypothetically, if Mason Graham and Travis Hunter are both there at number 5, and I told the people to humor me because obviously I knew I was going to get the all-hacker. That won't happen. But humor me here. If they're both available, who would you take? Who would you take in that scenario, Graham or Hunter, if they're both there?
Oh, there's no doubt I'd take Hunter.
You would take Hunter?
Yes.
Okay, because the last check, and this is why I thought it was interesting, at last check, about 400 people had voted at Ryan Green 1010XL, and it's 52-48. Really close. 52-48 in favor of Graham.
I'm actually surprised it's that close. And I did my first hour tonight strictly on Mason Graham because he has been by far and away, for the listeners of my show, the guy that this football team wants. And tonight was very thorough of them explaining to me why they have to go in that direction. I'm actually surprised you got it at 52-48. If you would ask me, I would have guessed 70-30.
Yeah, I just think Travis Hunter is like the sexy pick, right? I think people want to see Travis Hunter. Mason Graham's not going to sell a lot of season tickets, I don't think, but I would be fine either way. Here's what I say. That would be a great problem to have if both of those guys were available at number 5. Again, I don't see that happening. Rick Sarantella of the NFL Draft Bible, All Access Football. He's up in Indy. He joins me at 9 o'clock. And our guy Dilla, Dilla on social media, stops by at 8:20.
All right, Dilla coming up tonight, so you'll get the very latest there from Hacker Nation. Have a great show.
Thanks, Rick.
It's going to do it for us. Thank you to Rafael Esparza. Thank you to John Oehser. Again, thank you to you. Incredible contribution tonight. You didn't get an opportunity to respond to most of you. Just so many came in. But asking you about Mason Graham and why, and you provided plenty of insights and opinions on why you want him at number 5. Tomorrow night, we'll check in with tomorrow night we'll talk in with Demetrius Harvey from the Combine. So that'll be part of our program coming up on Thursday. Thank you to Dylan Denmark. My name is Rick Ballou. We'll talk tomorrow at 6.